Have you ever met someone who just seems drained by people? Someone who avoids crowded rooms, small talk, or endless social events, not because they're rude, but because it's exhausting. Or maybe that's you. Today, we're diving into the psychology of people who hate being around people, and why it's not as simple as they're antisocial. Let's start with a question. Have you noticed how some people recharge in solitude, while others thrive on chatter, parties, or constant connection? Some feel a sharp drop in energy after just a few minutes of social interaction. That's not laziness. It's how their brain is wired. People who dislike social interaction often process the world differently. Their brains can be highly sensitive to stimulation, noise, conversation, even eye contact can feel overwhelming. Think about the last time you felt drained after a busy day. Now imagine that feeling multiplied every time you were around people. That's what it's like for someone with this sensitivity. Here's a reflection prompt. Notice the moments when being around people leaves you exhausted. Do you feel anxious, irritable, or mentally foggy? Understanding these reactions is the first step toward self-compassion. This behavior is not necessarily a flaw. Psychologists call it introversion, high sensitivity, or social fatigue. Each term points to the same thing. Their nervous system reacts strongly to social energy. It's like having an internal battery that drains quickly around others. Let us pause with a quick micro recap. Dislike of people doesn't mean dislike of humanity. It often means a need to protect one's energy. Here's an example. Sarah loves her friends, but after an hour at a party, she retreats to her room to read. Or James, who prefers late-night walks alone to weekend gatherings. These aren't signs of coldness, they are coping strategies. Reflection prompt. When did you last step away from a social situation to feel better? What did that teach you about your needs? Now, how does this affect work and daily life? People who dislike social interaction often excel at independent tasks. They focus deeply, think creatively, and notice details others miss. But they might struggle with teamwork, networking, or office politics. Actionable tip. Start small. Schedule focused solo work sessions, then slowly add social interaction in ways that feel manageable. Notice what drains you and what energizes you. Here's another example. Tom avoids team lunches but volunteers for research projects he can do alone. By structuring life around his energy patterns, he protects himself without avoiding growth. Some people misinterpret this behavior as rudeness or arrogance, but often it's a protective mechanism, not a judgment on others. Understanding that can improve relationships. Reflection prompt. Think about someone you've judged for being distant. Could they just be protecting their energy? Let's explore another layer. Emotional intensity. People who dislike social interaction are often deeply empathetic, noticing nuances that others miss. Crowds and chatter can feel overwhelming because they pick up on multiple emotional signals at once. Example, Emma leaves family gatherings early, not because she dislikes her relatives, but because she feels every tension, every hidden conflict, all at once. Mini task. Next time you feel socially drained, Jot down what specifically drained you. Was it noise, conversation, or emotional intensity? This builds awareness and control. Another point. Some people develop social avoidance after negative experiences, bullying, rejection, or social trauma. Avoiding people isn't innate for everyone. It can be a learned survival strategy. Reflection prompt. Can you identify experiences that shaped your own social comfort zones? Self-compassion matters here. Tip. Gradually challenge your boundaries. If large groups overwhelm you, try a one-on-one conversation first. Notice your limits. Celebrate small wins. Micro recap. Dislike of people often stems from sensitivity, emotional depth, or past experiences, not flaws. Recognizing this helps with self. Here's a quick actionable strategy for everyday life. 1. Schedule downtime after social events. 2. Create a quiet zone at home for recharging. 3. Use one-on-one connections instead of large groups. 4. Practice mindfulness to notice emotional overload early. 5. Set clear boundaries without guilt. Another example. Leo works in a busy office. He keeps headphones on, takes short solo walks, and blocks social notifications during focus time. By protecting his energy, he avoids burnout and stays productive. Reflection prompt. Which boundaries can you set today to protect your energy without isolating yourself? Let's talk about self-perception. People who dislike social interaction often struggle with guilt. They wonder if they're lazy, unfriendly, or weird. But here's the truth. Their preferences are natural, and honoring them is healthy. Actionable mini-task. Whenever guilt arises after avoiding social interaction, pause and say, I'm respecting my energy. Notice how it shifts your mindset. Another layer. Social skills still matter. Avoiding people doesn't mean avoiding growth. Practicing communication, empathy, and teamwork in small doses helps balance solitude with social competence. Example. Maya, who dislikes parties, volunteers for small community projects. She builds connections in controlled, comfortable ways. Reflection prompt. Can you find ways to interact without overwhelming yourself? Even small social wins count. Let's explore a positive side. Solitude fosters creativity, reflection, and emotional depth. People who dislike people often have rich inner lives, unique perspectives, and the ability to focus deeply. Actionable tip. Embrace your solitude. Start journaling, reading, or exploring hobbies. Your alone time is a strength, not a weakness. Quick micro recap. Disliking people doesn't equal weakness. It often signals emotional intelligence, focus, and self. Now, how can friends and family support someone like this? Respect boundaries. Don't take withdrawal personally, and create safe spaces for connection. Small gestures mean more than forced socializing. Reflection prompt. Think of one person you know who values solitude. How can you support their needs without judgment? Final tip before we wrap. Balance is key. Protect your energy, but stay connected in ways that feel meaningful. Avoid extremes. Solitude and social interaction are both essential to a healthy life. Here's a closing story. Alex loves quiet mornings, solo walks, and deep focus. Friends sometimes question his choices, but he thrives. He's productive, creative, and emotionally balanced, not despite his dislike of people, but because he respects it. So here's the takeaway. Disliking people is not a flaw. It's a trait, a need, and sometimes a strength. Notice your energy, honor your boundaries, practice small social steps, and embrace solitude. Reflection prompt. Today, ask yourself, what social situations energize you? Which drain you? How can you honor both sides of your personality? Your journey isn't about changing who you are. It's about understanding, protecting, and thriving with your unique social wiring. Start small, be compassionate with yourself, and notice the difference. Now, take a moment to reflect. How will you respect your energy this week? What small step can you take toward balance, growth, and self-understanding? Remember, solitude can be powerful. Boundaries are healthy. Your brain and heart deserve respect. And the world, it doesn't need you to be like everyone else. It needs you to be fully you.